All right, let's go into our second day of simplifying polynomials by multiplying a monomial times anything else, a polynomial. Remember, we are using that power to power rule and the multiplication property for product rule for exponents, and we're writing things in standard form. Make sure that we distribute and combine correctly. So go ahead and hit pause, see if you can simplify this polynomial expression. All right, let's see how we did. Since there are no variables, we're just multiplying the coefficient. So 6x squared minus 8x plus 10. And I'm going to go ahead and write this vertically. So I'm going to write it underneath, just as another way to look at things. So negative 3 times 2, remember that is a negative. That is a negative 6x squared and a positive 24x. And notice how I'm writing them under the like term, and minus 24. So I can go ahead and add down. Some of us, our brains work better if it goes vertically, so it doesn't really make any difference if you write them horizontally or write them vertically, as long as you write them underneath the right like term. And then you can go ahead and add. Well, I see 6 minus 6, that's 0, so these are gone. 24 minus 8, that is a 16. And I have a minus 14. So this simplifies to 16x minus 14. And notice that's already in standard form. Okay, I want you to hit pause. I want you to work through these problems, come up with some solutions, write them in standard form. I'll catch up with you in a few minutes. Make sure that you are big to small when it comes to your powers. Okay, let's see how you did. So the first thing that I see on number 11 is that there really isn't any distribution. So the parentheses are really just there to confuse me. So I am going to rewrite this without the parentheses. And I'm going to go ahead and write the next one underneath the like terms. So I've got a positive 6p4, a positive 7. I'm going to write that here on the side because there isn't any common term, and a negative p squared. Okay, I'm going to add down. So 3p, that drops. 8 minus 1 is 7. A negative 2 and a positive 6, that's a positive 4. And of course, my 7 drops. So the one that gets to go first is the 4p to the power of 4. And then the next one would be the 7p squared plus 3p plus 7. So hopefully you came up with 4p4 to the fourth power plus 7p squared plus 3p plus 7. Okay, now the next one, I see that there is a distribution of a negative 1. So that would be negative 5x squared, a positive 8x cubed, and a positive 7x. So again, I'm going to go ahead and practice this one writing vertically. So my 5x cubed, there's no distribution on this side, so I'm going to write it here. And a positive 8x and a negative 8x squared. I'm going to go ahead and add down negative 13x squared, 13x cubed, and a 15x. Now I might think I'm done, but I'm not because I'm not in standard form. This one needs to go first. So 13x cubed minus 13x squared plus 15x would be my solution. All right, distributing on this next one. Negative x cubed. That's the same thing as negative 1x cubed. Remember, there is a negative 1 there. Minus 5x squared. So either one of those answers works. If I go to the next one, 12x5, remember we're adding those powers, minus 15x3 because that's a power of 1, and 30x squared. And the last one, remember that's a negative 1, negative 3x3 because there's a power of 1, plus 6x squared minus 36x. So hopefully that went pretty well for you. Okay, let's make this a little bit more complicated with more variables. So go ahead and hit pause and see what you can do with this. Okay, now I know that you might be freaking out because there's a fraction there, but the fractions really are not a big deal. It's still a distribution, so I'm still distributing, okay? But when we see that fraction, what we're really taking is 2/3 times 30 over 1. And remember, when we multiply fractions, we go across the top and across the bottom. So 2 times 30 is 60. 60 divided by 3, well, that's 20. So I'm really taking 2 times 30 divided by 3. That's 20. I'm not going to have any more n's, but I am going to have 4 p's. Okay, 4 p's. Okay, now the next one. 2 times 9 is 18. Divide by 3. That's 6. 3 n's, 3 p's. And 2 times negative 12, that's negative 24. Divided by 3 is a negative 8. And that one has no n's or p's. So they're just going to hold on. Okay, so now alphabetical, n comes before p. So I have to go by the power of n's. So that means the 6n cubed is going to go first. Okay, then I have a p to the 4 and I have a p squared. Well, the p to the 4 is going to have to come first before the p squared because my n to the 1 is the same power. Okay, let's see what we have here. So negative 12, a6, negative 9, a cubed, positive 6a squared. Remember, there's a negative 1 here. Negative 1 times 3, negative 3a4, positive 6a7, negative 2a5. Okay, combining like terms and finding the one that has the largest power. So 6a to the 7 is the largest. And then I'm going to go to the negative 12a6. So now I've used this one. So I'm going to go ahead and cross some of these guys out so I know where I'm at. The next one is the 5. So minus 2a5, cross him out. And then it's the 4. And then it's the 3. And last but not least, the 6a squared. And I do like to cross them out. That just helps me kind of keep organized in my thinking. All right, let's try this last one with multiple variables. So 6 times 5 is 30, and that's a power of 1, and that's a power of 1. So I would have 2 x's and 2 y's. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. 4 x's, 4 y's. Negative 6xy. Negative negative is going to be a positive, and 3 x's and 5 y's. Okay, we're going to put them in order by x's. So that means the negative 18x4 is going to be my first one. Then x cubed. Then the x squared. And last but not least, the xy. So hopefully you came up with negative 18 x4, x to the 4th, y to the 4th, plus 3x cubed, y to the 5th, plus 30x squared, y squared, and negative 6xy. All right, let's do a couple equations. So go ahead and hit pause, see if you can solve these guys. All right, let's see how we did. 20z plus 30 minus 2z plus 8, 7z squared plus 28z, a negative 7z squared, a positive 2z, minus 48. Okay, so the first thing I see is that I need to combine. So 18z plus 38 on this side. Remember, when you're combining on one side of the equal sign, we're adding. You're not changing signs. On this side, these 7z squareds are going to cancel. So those are gone. That is a 30z and a minus 48. Okay, so starting to solve, I'm going to subtract my 30z. Get my computer to catch up with my thinking here. Move this down a little bit so I have a little bit more room. Okay, so negative 12z plus 38 equals negative 48. Subtract my 38. So negative 12z is equal to, and that is going to give me 86. And if we divide 86 and 12, And I'm going to go ahead and refresh your memory on how to pull up your Desmos calculators because we haven't really used that today. So if you haven't opened your Desmos calculator, go ahead and do that. So again, your Desmos Scientific Calculator, if I just type in Desmos Scientific, I can also switch back and forth on my slides when I'm doing my homework. Here's my Desmos Scientific. So we can kind of check our math. And what we had negative 48. And I'm going to go ahead and do plus a negative because that seems to make things easier for me. There's my negative 86, okay? And negative 86 divided by negative 12. It doesn't work out evenly. So that means I need fraction. Remember how to simplify this fraction right here on this side. I need to convert my fraction to lowest terms. And I see that that simplified it to 43 over 6. Okay, so 86 over 12 is going to simplify to 43 over 6. So that is my solution. Okay, if you haven't finished up the next one, go ahead and hit pause and do that for me. And I will catch up here in just a second. All right, let's see how we did here. So 10f squared minus 4f minus 10f squared plus 30f minus 60. So that is the left side. The right side, negative 8f squared minus 32f plus 8f squared minus 28f. Okay, so I have lots of combining I need to do. So my f squareds, they're going to go away. And I have a 26f here minus 60. Again, my f squareds are going to go away. And I have a negative 32 and a negative 28. So again, remember, you can use your calculator to help you. Negative 32 plus a negative 28. Remember, we're adding when we're on the same side. Okay, we are adding these guys. So that's a negative 60f. And I need to move my 26f the other side. So minus 26f. So negative 60 is going to equal a negative 86f. Divide by my negative 86. And again, I'm going to get a fraction here. So f is equal to, and I can go ahead and divide these 60 divided by 86. And I'm not going to deal with the negatives because I know negative and negative is positive. And I come up with 30 over 43. So there is my solution. Okay, let's keep practicing today. Reach out to us if you are struggling, and we'll catch you on the next video.